Okay, so I'm going to give you a little run through on some protective equipment that I find quite handy to have around. Now, one of the most common things is if you're dealing with someone who has a irritation or maybe a small skin infection that you need to be careful of, and you know there might be some potential for transfer, and you don't want to have your hands exposed to something, or if you have a cut on the palm of your hand, you might want to don a glove. And if we have a peek when you're putting on the gloves, you want to make sure your hands are clean before you apply them, washing your hands properly. A great trick to remember to washing your hands, by the way, is sing happy birthday twice, scrubbing your hands, going through a procedure where you hook your fingers like this, where your fingers interlace like so, and then you get into the palms of each hand like so, and you will grab each thumb and each finger, working your way through, washing the backs of each hand. It's very interesting to try and do this on a video and watch myself. There we go. And of course, you're going to do traditional washing, grabbing your wrists, going all the way up to your elbows, because you will use your elbows in quite a few treatments, and your full forearm. And you do the same thing before and after every service. And if you happen to touch anything above your armpits or below your belt, you should re-wash your hands. So, you know, touching your face, scratching your ear. There are some little tricks, by the way, which you can use. You can use your upper arm to itch your face like so. You might be able to, rub your cheek on your shoulder to give a bit of an itch to some areas as well too. It's amazing how itchy your face gets when you can't touch it. So that's how you put on gloves, as I was saying. You put them on, you clean your hands before you apply them where possible. However, they should be clean in their container. If they break, replace them. Don't put up with a tiny hole in one that will immediately just expand and rip. Let's show you how to remove or doff a glove. So I'm going to enlarge this image for you. I probably should have done that before for putting on the gloves, but putting on gloves is something that most people get right. Taking off the gloves, people tend to make a mistake. If your fingers are dirty, pretend these are covered in, I don't know, dog feces. That'll, make it entertaining for you. Go and rub some peanut butter on Nutella on your hands and try and get the gloves off without, hey, that'll be a fun thing to do in class. Try and get the gloves off without getting any of the peanut butter on your own hands. So there's an idea for me to try. You start off by pinching the glove and pulling it away. See how I'm not touching my skin? I'm only pinching the glove. Then I pull the glove and it inverts or turns inside out, trapping all the goodness inside. Holding that glove in your other hand, then place your finger on the inside under here. Oh, that's hard to get under. Oh, gee, these gloves aren't my size. They're a little small. But you can see, you should be able to try and get your finger underneath. Then peel this off and you trap everything inside that first glove. Then dispose of these in an appropriate bin. You'll need to look up what kind of bin that is. I'll give you a hint, it's yellow. Let's show you another one. Gloves, very useful for full hand protection. Occasionally, you might have a nick on just one finger. And wearing a glove on one hand, or if you had one nick on two different fingers, putting a glove on each hand is really annoying to work with all day, having to change. And you are surprisingly getting these muscles very hot when you're working, because as muscles move, they generate heat. So that heat gets trapped in the gloves. Therefore, putting on a glove when you only have one finger that's injured tends to really become uncomfortable and unnecessarily. So I did try initially snipping off one glove finger, but they just peel off and it doesn't work, especially if you have a band-aid on. And if you don't have a glove or some method of protecting a finger when it is having a band-aid, then you have to change the band-aid between every service.
This is not product placement advertising. You'll find that the majority of band-aids fall off even with the tiniest drop of oil. These ones, if you put them on a few hours before treatment, you'll find that they stay on really well, and you can of course have your glove over the top for that added protection and hygiene, but they last a really long time and work much better than the others.
Now, these things here, I've got a little bag of them. They sort of look like the end of a balloon. Some people joke it looks like a condom. There we go. Be worried about that. Okay, so let's have a peek here. You roll this down and you get it to cover your finger like so. And of course you could have a band-aid underneath that, which would be preferable. Then you can change these. They're very inexpensive. I get the Rectagesic boxes. They're the best bargain. There would be other brands, but it's the only one I can think of. I'm sorry, I can't give you options at the moment, but there are a few bands. They can also be called finger clots. To remove these, the same principle would apply, except you're turning it inside out by rolling it up like this, and then that would go into the bin. The same bin, only one use per customer. Okay, so here's a little something extra, just that I thought I'd add in. Before you're putting gloves on, always make sure your fingernails are nicely trimmed. Okay, so I'll get those up close. Now you'll see they're quite short. If you're having long nails or false nails, they look great on me, false nails, you're going to find even with a bit of length, like see this nail here, you can easily get dirt and stuff trapped on it. So I thought I'd just show you that one quickly before I kick off with a bit of work. Whoa, hard to keep that in front of the camera's view there. So you can see here. Notice I'm not showing you my middle finger. Don't want to offend. So yeah, when you're looking at your fingernails, you really want to trim them nice and short, sort of more like this. And I actually have found some nail clippers with this little plastic component on them there. Now, as you've probably noticed, when you're trimming nails, things can go flying off like little missiles, take an eye out. This actually captures all the loose bits of nails, and it's another little added hygienic bonus if you're ever clipping nails in your clinic, so you don't have bits of everybody's dead nails hanging around your workspace. The other point is too, even with slight little, a couple of millimeters of length on your nails, you're going to find that dirt, bits of people's dead skin, they've been sweaty, perspiring, doing whatever out in their daily jobs, that'll get trapped under your fingernails if you have extra length. And in addition to that, the extra length on the nails can put a sharp edge that'll split through a glove or a finger or a finger clot. So make sure you keep your nails nice and short, better for hygiene. I've got to cut mine about twice a week, and that keeps mine pretty tame. If I had a few weeks off, then they get really long, and it actually feels strange after you become accustomed to having them short. So remember that, and keep your eye out for these if you ever see them. The simplest variation, they're great. One more note, you might see this part of the video repeated again later as a separate component when I'm walking you through another part of the assessment. Hope that was walking through in the right direction from the... Please open your Part B template. If you haven't already downloaded it, you can get it from Connect, go into Assignments, and then select the first item that says AT1PE. You'll see the template when you open it will either be a Word or a PowerPoint document. Once you locate it in your downloaded items, please rename it just by placing your name at the end of the document. If you can do that, it becomes very easy to locate. Some people get tempted to change it to unusual names like the law assignment or first assignment. Just simply change the very ending to include your name. Just like this. Thank you.